boy Boosie. Your boy
Man, Lil
Boosie.
Boosie, man.
Okay, Lil Boosie getting in a little trouble, and I don't know if that has anything to do with going to the YNW Melly trial, but he was there a couple days ago. He was sitting in the YNW Melly trial.
I heard, man, you know what I mean? To me, it wasn't a good look, for him. But at the same time, I don't know how close him and Melly was. I don't think they were. I know they did a song together, if I ain't mistaken, you know what I mean? So I don't know how close they was, but being that Boosie, he fought a murder case himself. I believe that Melly had the same attorney that Boosie had for his murder case, for a while, you know what I mean? So, but so maybe they are friends, you know what I mean? But at the same time, man, the publicity is not needed right now. Love dude from afar. Let him go fight his case. You know what I mean? Your presence in the courtroom, just to me. You know what I mean? I know when I was fighting case, I didn't want the homies coming to my court shit. You know what I mean? That, just to me, it wasn't a good look. Don't get me wrong. The support is you always got to love the support. But, when you a dude in Boosie case, a gangster, out there, I don't always believe that gangster look in the court is the right look. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people like to stay away from trials, even if it's your best friend. You're like, man, I ain't walking into that courthouse at all. But here's an article from TMZ. It says federal agents arrest Boosie after court appearance. It says here that a spokesman for the San Diego District Attorney's Office tells us that Boosie was in court Wednesday for an appearance on an ongoing gun case, which was eventually dismissed. But he was arrested by federal agents outside the courtroom as soon as his gun case wrapped. It says TMZ doesn't know the circumstances that led up to the arrest, but you sent me a link that said it might be tied into some wire taps, some phone calls. Can you break that down for us?
Well, for me, I believe I believe it's these gun cases. You know what I mean? I mean, personally, and I don't have no inside knowledge or nothing like that. If you was to ask me, because I seen this move happen like plenty of times, Alex. Plenty of time. With people that I know personally. You know what I mean? Where you have a state case. Some of us, we catch a gun case, Alex, and feds is coming. And what they do is, and how they do it, is as soon as the state already agreed to dismiss it because they know the feds is going to pick it up. I've seen this at least 10 times by people I know. Catch state gun cases and then turn around and the feds pick them up. That's why a lot of homies, I tell them, if they certain caliber dudes, I tell them, listen, man, plead out on that fast as you can, because you want to plead out on it in the state before the feds pick it up. You know what I mean? Because the feds, you could possibly have a mandatory 60 months on that gun case, mandatory minimum 60 months, opposed to the state, you might can get 2.5, 3 years off of it. A lot of dudes don't be wanting to plead out. They want to fight it and fight it. I'm dealing with the state. I'm probably can beat it, but they don't understand, man, when you're a certain level of dudes or the authorities, you've been eluding authorities for a long time, you'll be surprised that they'll call the feds and say, listen, man, we got this dude right here, on this gun case, man, what y'all want to do? The feds say, we'll grab it. They say, okay, we're going to dismiss it. I'm believing it just from what I've seen before, not 100% sure at all, that they probably just going to charge him with those 2 gun cases federally. You know what I mean? And he going to have to deal with it then, man. There's going to be a whole different level of punishment that's going to come along with it, because they've been wanting Boosie for a while, man. So that's what I believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to a brother we spoke about a few months ago at a Sacktown. He caught a gun case here in Culver City. I'm talking about Mozzie. I don't know if they dismissed it, dropped the charges, but whatever they did, and then the feds picked it up. But Mozzie was able to get away with just doing a year and a day, and actually he was just released a couple weeks ago. So yeah. He got a year and a day, which is, I guess, not too bad for his gun case, right?
No doubt, but you know what I mean? Boosie been around a long time doing a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, he beat his murder case, so I can't sit here and say he did it or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, man, he was charged with it, and he was under that microscope of being involved in a murder. You know, whether he did it or not, he was under the microscope and he was accused of it. You know, so at the end of the day, man, if them prosecutors and them feds feel, you know, because they get together and talk from state to state, and if they feel he got away with one or got away with two or then heard his name in multiple situations that they never got him on, this is what they do, Alex. The feds come holler at you, you know, and that's for every street dude out there. You know what I mean? And you know, like I say, you know, I had one drug case in my entire life and got 10 years for it on my very first drug case because my name had been ringing and the state felt like, hold on, man, let's get these feds involved. That's just how they do it, you know? And so I believe it's going to be something with the gun cases, you know, and it come with a different penalty when you get over there in the feds. Everybody know that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious because why would the district attorney's office in San Diego dismiss the case? You know, and this TMZ article says, well, the good news is the case was dismissed, but what they're not saying is that that same case can pop up in the feds.
Yeah, but at the same time, it must be some airtight that they have because, you know, the feds usually are real strict about them Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights, you know, them illegal searches and seizures and things of that nature. So if you pull Boosie over for a traffic stop, why was you searching his car in the first place? So I believe if it was a case where he got this dismissed in the state, feds wouldn't have picked it up, you know, if this what they having for.
So but at the same time, I was going to say, does that mean there's some communication between the DA's office and the feds?
Oh, it's always communication between the DA's office and the feds, you know, and the feds could have called the DA office and say, hey, bro, I know you want this, but let us grab this. You know what I mean? You know, and it's simple as that. Bro, they dismissed the case and they was out there waiting for him. They definitely communicate. And like I've seen homies, you know, come back to the unit. Hey man, they come back to the county jail, come back to the module and be like, man, they dismissed my shit. I'm finna go home. And when they get released, the feds out there, you know, they don't never get released. You know, the feds pick them up, you know. So like I said, I've seen this time and time again, but I've also seen homies that, you know, had been to the feds, you know, and catch a gun case, boom, jump on that deal real fast and it's done. It's already done. You know what I mean? So but it definitely happens, man. So I believe that it's enough evidence if the feds picked it up and if it's about these guns that maybe it was some kind of probable cause for them to search the vehicle. You know, maybe they had good probable cause, you know, on paper to say this is why we searched the vehicle. Because I was always wondering, man, if you pull me over for a traffic stop, give me a ticket. Why is you searching my vehicle? You know what I mean? So the news is definitely going to come out in an indictment. If they picked him up to this morning, he will see a magistrate judge today. He will have his indictment today. You know, I don't know what state he was in San Diego. So he probably going to court, or he probably already at court right now as we speak. You know, probably at MCC San Diego. You know, and he'll be there until they either transfer him or he fight it out from there.
And he can get bail on this case, right? The bail shouldn't be too high on this.
I mean, depending on his background, depending on his, you know, his stableness, you know, depending on, you know, if they deem him a flight risk. I believe they're gonna do all that with Boosie, man. I don't think they're gonna let him go. They've been wanting him a long time. You know, I hope they, you know, give him action. Let him fight it from the street, man. Let me fight my case, you know, and I'll come back to court. You know, Boosie ain't got no. I mean, I ain't gonna say no reason to run, but he know how this shit go. You run, you get caught later. It's just gonna be that 10 times worse. You know what I mean? So, I hope they give him one. He can get out, fight his case, man. And but at the same time, these people play dirty, you know, and depending on how bad they wanted this dude, or they'll make up anything to reprimand, to remand him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't know what role him attending YNW Melly's trial is going to play, but this just happened 2 days ago. He was just in the trial. I guess he was there to lend his support, to show that, you know, that YNW Melly still has a support base. And xxlmag.com just posted this article a couple days ago talking about Boosie was attending YNW Melly's trial. And hey, to me, unless you're like a reporter, unless you're doing work, unless you're covering something, if you're from the streets, it's probably not a good idea to be sitting on another dude's murder trial, sitting in the audience. It's just, it's just too distracting, and then you're just exposing yourself to unnecessary police attention, in my opinion.
No, no doubt. And I think a whole lot of people think that, see, some people ain't going to get it though, Alex. Some people, don't understand, because they haven't been in a situation where they fighting for their life. This dude fighting the death penalty. You know what I mean? So, jurors are in there, now you got your, whether it's your cousin, your uncle, or a real family member, your brother, that's a known, a gangster in the street, or things of that. And you don't want this dude, like you said, distraction of letting the jury know exactly who you affiliated with and things of this nature. That ain't called for right now. You know what I mean? You fighting for your life, bro. You know what I mean? And I know Boosie might have thought different, like, man, let me just show some support to the young dude. But at the same time, he don't need support from the homies right now. He needs support from them attorneys. You know what I mean? That's who he need the support of, the jurors. He need jury support. And you ain't on that jury, man. Get your ass up out of there. Let that man fight his case. But I love Boosie though. It ain't like I got nothing against Boosie. I'm just talking about when you fighting these cases and these dudes don't understand. I talk about it all the time. Even your demeanor in court. You know what I mean? Even you laughing or joking and shit like that. People looking at that. Jurors looking at that. You know what I mean? So it's a court etiquette that you gotta have. You talk to a motherfucker that been in courtrooms. You know what I mean? Plenty of time. It's a way that you conduct yourself in that courtroom, man, to get these people, to make it seem like you're not mocking them, make it seem like you're not, you know what I mean? So I agree with you 100% on that. Boosie should have stayed out of that one.
Now, what's the chance that Boosie fights his gun case the way that Mozzie did and just pleads out and maybe gets a year and a day? He probably won't get a year because of his background, but maybe 2 years. Is there a chance that he gets a low sentence the way Mozzie got?
Me personally, I'm gonna say no. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know no circumstances behind neither one of their cases. You know what I mean? I haven't read any, charges on either one of their cases. But at the same time, me personally, just being FG, nah, I think they're gonna try to run it up on Boosie, man. Just to be honest with you, I think they're gonna try to hit him. They can't get him on nothing else at the moment, man. We finna bust you upside your head with this. You know what I mean? And that's how they do it. Like I say, my first drug case ever, my only drug case ever, got called a petty amount. That wasn't that. No, we got him. We gonna run him up now. You know what I mean? So I believe they gonna stick it to Boosie a lot harder than they did Mozzie. But I mean, I hope they don't. Don't get me wrong, because I mean, hey man, he got pistols to protect himself. So I'm not mad at the man for having the two pistols at all. Like at all. It's just at the end of the day, man. When you running around town, these kind of police, especially in California, they going up in your vehicle, man. If you ain't got that stash correct or you ain't got them things, put somewhere where they can't find them, man, they definitely gonna knock you down. So now that he in the federal system, like I say, man, they gonna take it from here. They gonna paint the picture of they gonna paint the picture that he, the wildest dude in the world, and we gonna see what happened. But I hope he gets some love, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because when he was fighting that other case he had back in the day in Louisiana, I believe he sat in that jail for about 7 years before he got out. I don't know if he pled out or if they gave him a lesser charge, but he definitely
was
found
it that
guilty of
long?
murder. Yeah, it was he fought that for about 7 years, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I remember that. Remember, he was tied in a group with a dude named Webby. You don't really hear about Webby anymore, but when they came out, it was Boosie and Webby.
Oh no, man! I love Webby, man. Webby used to spit that shit, man. Yeah, no doubt. You know what I mean? But Webby had went did some time, and Webby just did his a little different. You know what I mean? And and they even used to they was partners, man. And they used to even talk shit up to each other about, how they did each other. How they could do better in this industry, because both of them was wild. You know what I mean? So, but like I say, man, we gonna see how the feds treat him, man. I just said from my personal understanding how I feel that they want to do, man. I think they gonna try to get him on this one, Alex.